Protests, marches, these things are happening nationwide, countrywide. And as much as it would be important for me to address that first, I'd like to park it as it's a flow. To become an engaged citizen, there are a number of decisions that you have to make, and there are a number of choices that have to precede those decisions. Firstly, you have to educate yourself. Educate yourself about what's happening in the country. Educate yourself about what's happening in your community first and foremost. Because it starts in the family, it starts as a family unit. What is the constitution of your family? There are so many family related issues that are affecting the community at large. Domestic violence, violence against women and children within people's homes. What is the value system that exists within each and every home that we live and thrive in? What is the value system that can prevent the amount of crime that happens out there? Instead of people going out and burning tires, how about they refurbish those tires, fill them up with soil and seeds, put them at the back of their gardens, and then water them once in a while? See if the issue of food security, if it starts at that element of home, whether it won't make any definite difference. See if it won't make a definite difference if we follow that type of logic. Social issues, social ills. Educate yourself about what is the main cause of those social ills. Educate yourself about what is the main issues surrounding you and your family and your community at large. Before you can become an engaged citizen, before you can become a full incumbent in the citizenry and system of the South African system, you have to start at home. So all those things that are affecting you and your family, start there. Deal with those particular issues efficiently and effectively. Educate yourself about the psychological issues that happen within people's minds for them to go and commit the crimes that happen. The crime stats come out on a quarterly basis. We are always disappointed by what we hear and what we see. And yet, at that small level, what is it that you are actually doing? So learn about the political and social factors that are affecting our country. Social media has made it so easy and accessible for you to learn about these things. Then if you're still a traditionalist, then purchase your newspapers. Unfortunately, you have no control over the propaganda that happens. And so the things that you are consuming, you also have to be careful about it. Read political blogs, individuals that are in the trenches. Go ahead and read the manifestos of those parties that are campaigning, of those parties that want to be elected into power. Read those manifestos so that you can hold them accountable. Don't just go by what they say at face value. Read. Get informed. Educate yourself about the political system. Watch television. It irks me to say this, but watch television because sometimes they give you the necessary images that paint a picture that's far from your family and from your household, but pictures that can actually provoke you into action.
And people cannot sit idle and hope that one day things will come right, but they need to take a stand.
So educate yourself by finding all the necessary mediums and media for you to actually proceed in taking decisions that will benefit you, your family, your community, and South Africa at large as an engaged citizen. Number 2, register to vote. Guys, that thing is important. Register to vote so that you can actually place a mark that can make a difference. This is simply the easiest tip that you can follow because it doesn't require that much of you. It requires you to take your proof of res and ID to the IEC where you're actually going to vote. Go to that particular district, voting district, and place your mark. That single vote, when you multiply it by millions and millions and millions of people that are eligible to vote, can make the biggest and most significant difference in terms of who is in charge of our economy, who is in charge of making decisions that will benefit our communities, and who can we hold accountable when things actually go wrong, without necessarily going and speeding up and wanting to actually march or protest. So it's your right. It's your right. So exercise that particular right and vote. Number 3, how about you start something that will actually provide employment for those right next to you? How about you open a business that will actually make a mark, an indelible mark within the community. Employ members of the community so that the rand actually circulates within your community before it exits your community. How about you do that? Let's have local businesses that look at the needs of the community and then supply in accordance with that demand of that community. When we do that, it means that transport costs for people employed will be lowered. It means that people will come to work not as tired as they would be because they wouldn't have to commute for long. It would mean that people would be wanting to bring back to the very same community that's serving them. And if that's the case, then come on, guys, it makes sense. It makes 100% sense. Open a business that will empower those around you. Open a business that will keep the economy going, but benefit not only you, the community at large, and eventually the South African economy, which is so bad at the moment. Have you seen the stats? If you have 100 Rand now, it means that it's worth 50 Rand 6 years ago. It's worth half the value that it had 6 years ago. So think about that. It will help us cut costs. It will help us provide for the needs of the people around us. And it will also enable people to not be so dependent on government grants. This will help with tip number 2 when they go and vote. That the incentive will not be that takeaway or plate or the promise of what these politicians are saying. It will be more so what these politicians actually do. And that will shift the direction of the country and make us maintain the notion that we are engaged citizens. The next thing that you can do is join a civil social societal movement. Join an NPO, or better still, create your own. We have 𝐌𝐿𝐼𝐻 𝐔𝐬𝐞𝐝 Foundation. It focuses on helping communities, looking at disenfranchised areas, donating where we can donate, be it money, be it food parcels, be it clothes, looking at orphanages, seeing how we can empower kids and empower people around us. It's a non-profit organization. So it's meant to benefit those that actually need the help and those that actually need the assistance. So join an NPO that has goals similar to that of your goals. Join an NPO that has a vision and a mission that can be adjusted so that you fit in with the goals of that organization. Join an organization that is around the corner from you. Instead of wasting your time bickering, instead of wasting your time walking around and loitering, instead use that time to bring a positive change within your community. Use that time to bring a change that will matter within your community. So join a civil movement, align yourself with their goals, then work hard at making sure that people that are meant to benefit from that civil community actually benefit from that civil community. Be committed to what they are doing so that you are a part of the family and so that you can make a difference in your own backyard. Before we move to the broader context of the country, again, it starts within the communities in which we work, live, and strive to become better. Another important thing so that you are an engaged citizen is to actually attend community meetings. Actually attend community meetings. Be a leader and call those community meetings. Identify all the problems, social ills, crime, and unemployment and other issues affecting your community. Potholes, service delivery, electricity, you name it. Call that community meeting, mobilize, and try to find solutions nearby. Try to find solutions that will benefit and impact your community in a positive way. Try to find solutions with your peers, those that know exactly how you are affected by everything that's going on. Then focus on that mission of finding solutions and keeping the ball rolling. Be that cogwheel that actually connects with other cogwheels so that the overall machine works. Be active, be proactive, be an engaging member of your community. Attend those meetings, raise your voice, spread your voice, and make sure that young people are part of that particular circle. Make sure that young people are well informed. Make sure that young people know why things are the way they are, who's responsible, who's accountable, and what can be done to solve those particular issues within the community. You have to take action. You have to work on yourself. You have to work on the decisions you make. You have to know who those decisions actually affect, and then you have to move forward in a positive direction. You have to do that. So attend those community meetings, know your representatives, call out those accountable, and then move towards action in that particular notion. Then the next thing is that you need to know those representatives, those community representatives, those local ward councillors, those provincial people that are in power, those members of parliament. You need to know them. You need to be informed about them, and you need to know what they stand for so that you are not fooled. You are not fooled by the theatrics that happen in parliament. You are not fooled. You know exactly what affects you, your family, and your community. So actually know them so that you can hold them accountable. And it doesn't just end with you knowing them. It actually comes to you contacting them. Contacting them. You see, you've held your community meeting. Now, contact those local representatives, sit on their necks, put a noose around their necks, and actually make sure that they pull you guys in the right direction. Make sure that they drive you guys in the right direction. Know them, contact them, and then make sure that they do what it is they've been hired to do. If not, then take them out of power. Do not be afraid to do so. Now we can get to the issues of protesting and marching. There are so many ways to protest. There are so many ways to protest. And South Africa has a large history of protests, where protests have actually had a positive impact for our country, particularly within the apartheid times. The women, when they actually protested in 1956, they had a positive impact for the rights of women within this country. Right? So do not be afraid to join protests, but know what the definition of protesting is. Protesting means going against the grain and fighting things that you do not agree with. And that doesn't mean necessarily just marching. Marching is good because it brings attention to the social issues that can affect political will and can raise awareness and can make people in power actually take action. But that's not where it ends. Protesting can be in the means of petitions. So going around door to door, having signatures around a particular issue, and then making that petition reach the right people so that decisions can be made. There's power in numbers, and that's the power of the petition itself and the number of signatures in addressing a particular issue. Boycotting is another way of protesting. So making sure that you don't buy from a particular company because you don't agree with their values, or you don't agree with their principles, or you don't agree with their actions. Boycotting means not buying a particular product because you don't go with their value system, or they are not contributing towards your community in a positive way. So you can boycott that company, you can boycott government itself, you can boycott those corporations and institutions. And through boycotting, you get their attention and you can actually then move forward from there. Of course, there's also social media activism. A lot of change has come when social media has been used in a positive way. A lot of change has come when social media has actually had a positive impact because people gather together on a platform, particularly Twitter, Facebook, those type of platforms. People have gathered there with one voice, with one action, and that has forced people in power to recognize them and actually make decisions that go in the direction of which the activism is pointed. So there are so many ways to protest. There are many other ways to protest. There's civil disobedience as well, blockades, where you prevent certain actions from happening. But remember, with protesting, you must always be within the confines of the law. You don't want to do it in an illegal way. You don't want to do it in such a way that it nullifies why you are protesting in the first place. And then the last thing can be your strikes, where employees, for example, actually have a slowdown or a shutdown, or they don't go to work at all in large numbers. and therefore affecting the employer, making the employer make decisions that favor those employees. So there are so many ways in which people can protest. The next thing that you can do is volunteer. Volunteer in community projects, volunteer in goal-oriented projects, volunteer within helping families, schools, hospitals, so that you have a positive change that doesn't necessarily have monetary value, and so that you can't be pinned to the ground because you are doing a particular positive action. Volunteering is actually a good way of engaging as a citizen of South Africa. There are so many organizations that are doing many good things. So many organizations that are doing many good things. So play your role, volunteer, offer your time, offer your money, offer your donations, offer your belongings, offer any type of thing that can help and benefit the community at large. I remember when I was reading Steve Biko's book, one of the key elements that stuck out for me was that he actually approached mega churches and big churches because their voice also has an impact. So you can volunteer in such organizations. Such organizations have a high reach. Such organizations have a high reach and a high impact. And thus, volunteering makes you a part of that high reach and high impact. The next thing that you can do is to stay informed. Stay informed about political and social issues that are affecting you. Stay informed about it through social media. Stay informed about it through other mediums that will help you take positive decisions. And don't only stay informed, take action. Get those that aren't informed to become informed. Look at what I'm doing right now. I'm taking action. I'm using my cell phone and some ring lights, and I'm speaking to you in the camera and asking all of us to take action. We are mobilizing in our own way, within our own reach. This is a reach that can reach the whole of South Africa. This is a medium that can reach the whole of South Africa and the world at large. So we are mobilizing through various mediums, not only by staying informed and being informed, but by taking action and making others informed. One of the best things that we can do about our political system is to inform our kids, is to educate our kids, is to drive them in a direction that is positive for the nation. That's one of the biggest things that we can do as a nation. So overall, being an engaged citizen is actually one of the most important things that we can do. What we thus need to do is stay informed about all these things, educate ourselves, volunteer, take action, vote, and then listen to this video once more so that you see any other ways in which you, through your capability, can take action accordingly. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And it's a national shutdown. So let that action actually breed positive consequences for the nation. Let's end load shedding. Let's hope that the powers that be and the people that are at the top will see this as a strategy to make them accountable enough for them to take positive action that benefits us. Let's get rid of corruption in this country by actually starting the ethics and morals within the family nucleus system and then build from there. I love you guys and I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one. Starts with you. Cheers.